Love business.
Bam.
Love and live.
That's it. We are live right now. We doing it? Peace and blessings. What's good? It's your boy Se7eN Inglewood's on right now in your zone. And right now, this is the KCMO for Real, Kansas City's best and newest podcast. And going fast, holla at your boy. Let you know what's up. We are here with your boy Se7eN, of course. And we've got Randy Hefner, your grandma's favorite. Yes, and today we got a special guest.
Not special guest.
Special guest. Everybody's favorite masseuse with the hands to get you loose. Miss Keish.
So funny.
Miss Keish.
What's
good? What's good?
Thanks for having me. Glad I could be of service.
No doubt. So today we got a couple topics we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be kind of serious, y'all. So I apologize if anybody's coming here looking for fun times. We're gonna have that, but we gotta pay the bills first. So
get the tough stuff out.
Yeah. So some of the tough stuff we're gonna talk about is we're hearing about this abortion ban that's been sweeping the nation right now. Mm-hmm. It's been really effective, and it has so many myriad effects on men, women. The future for different ethnicities, and different ranges, different angles from which you can look at this. So we're going to kind of tackle that, as well as some other issues in regards to masturbation, as well as the Game of Thrones. You dig? And of course, we got to throw in some Kansas City info for everybody who's thinking about that. We'll talk to y'all in a second. So first up, Randy Hefner. We talking about the abortion ban. You got any thoughts on it before I get into it too deep?
Yeah, we can talk about it a little bit. As for me, I think I'm definitely pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Okay.
Okay. Like I feel like we don't know how a child could be conceived. They can be conceived different methods, different ways,
sure.
Harsh ways.
Unfortunately,
I mean, not say the right way, but the more acceptable way that society look at man and woman have relations, child develop. But you also have to look at situations where a man breaks in the house, sees a woman naked.
She might like to sleep.
Not saying that it's nothing.
Woman might like to sleep butt ass, and then next thing you know, that's that ass. So,
I've heard stories.
I don't mean to be like that, but it can happen.
Before.
Oh, that's what I came here for the TV, but since I'm here,
exactly. I came for this TV. I came for that radio joint. What you doing?
So we don't know the situations behind why people would want to have abortions, and for them to put a restriction on it, say it has to be if it's going to affect the mother, that's the only way they can allow it. I think I call BS on that. Personally, it seems like some kind of control device, control mechanism, control scheme that the man has, where he's trying to make sure that white people remains the majority. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, from my research, I've seen that mostly white women are the ones getting abortion. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're the majority of the population, so it only begs to make sense that they would be the ones who are getting. I mean, unless what I mean, and it's always weird because they always seem to try to paint this picture like women, whoever it is getting an abortion, are they're going out and getting like 2 or 3 a week.
Right.
Right. Or every other month they like, hey, here it is. How you doing, Juanisha? All right.
Hey girl, you back?
Hey.
Here's your punch card.
Right. Exactly. You get 9 and the 10th more abortion is free. Come on through.
I was about thinking.
Come on.
Coffee company, you get 5 coffee, you get the 6th one for free.
Bruh, come on down to Ron Rico's Jiffy Lube and abortion clinic, and we can get you cleaned out in 2 ways in 60 minutes or less. I mean, that's basically how they put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And so that's it, to me. It's like it's completely antithetical to what is really happening. Right. You know what I'm saying? And what the real effects of it are. So before I give like my opinion or whatever, I'm gonna give like a little bit of background, right? So we got Roe v. Wade. Supreme Court decision that took place in 1973. What that was like I said, it was a Supreme Court decision, and it was a national decision that affected everybody to let folks know, hey, it's okay. You are okay. You won't be vilified, or you won't be chastised, and you won't be maimed for having an abortion, especially in the cases of incest and rape.
Right.
So,
and if you're going to do it in the safe medical way.
Exactly.
They used to, take a clothes hanger.
Exactly.
And do, get up in there and get it done, and they would die.
No, absolutely. There was a I remember there was a stand-up that Whoopi Goldberg used to do way back in the day. So she used to, when she was like just a comedian, she used to do she did her stand-up in segments. She would be like a different character for each part of it. And she did one part of a teenage girl, and part of that shtick was like, oh yeah, and I had an abortion. She like went through the whole thing of like the coat hanger and went in, and she's like, okay, well, and now I can't have babies. You know what I'm saying? It was like that's an unfortunate result of something like that. You know what I'm saying? So or consequence, I should say. So we have that happening, and we got and before that we had just knocking down the stairs, because if you watch Family Guy. That's exactly what they were about doing. I don't mean to be making light of it, but seriously, because especially in the 13th century and medieval times, that's exactly what they were.
You making light of it? You see the comments those politicians made, like that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'll get into one in particular in a little bit. So what we're seeing right now is that we've got a huge ton of states that are accepting this, accepting the change to create new legislation to challenge the Roe v. Wade decision of 1973 here in 2019. And what that means is a lot of these states are basically just saying, hey, we want to make sure that, now let me preface this by saying that the laws for most of them are largely, what's the word? You can't. They can't be acted on right now. Okay. So they can only be acted on when Roe v. Wade becomes unconstitutional, or if the Supreme Court suddenly decides against what they've already decided for, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically like everybody's saying, all right, let's set up our troops, set up all our men right here, and we just getting ready, because as soon as it's ready. As soon as it comes, bam, we in.
It's kind of like everything that they've been doing, that whole marijuana stuff. Like they've been planning. It's been plotted for a while.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Just waiting for the right time to get it on in there.
Exactly.
Just how we saw, like California, all the other states that were like, okay, yeah, put it on their ballot first. Now everybody wants to put it on their ballot. So it's that same type of effect. That's what I think is going to happen.
I got you. And speaking of states, so now we're seeing that it's already passed in Georgia. It's passed in Alabama. Texas has a version of it. Ohio has a version of it. And just this past Friday, Missouri joined the fray. So we just had one of the legislators who was like a 30-year retired police officer who's now a senator, I believe, for the GOP. And he basically was saying that So he said he misspoke. I'm gonna preface it by saying he misspoke. But what he said was, the guys. He said most of the guys that we saw who were raping, my rapists is what he called them. He said my rapes. Wow. My rapes happened. Most of the time they happened from. He said they didn't happen like how you were talking about, Randy, from. Break-ins and all that. It was most times from people that they knew, or what he called consensual rape. See, the women in the house are laughing at that. So then as soon as he made that statement, he just went on about his business and said the word consensual rape, and I said some other stuff. And then one sister stood up and said, hey, you know what? Her name was Prouty. I can't remember her first name. I know her last name was Prouty. I liked it. And she said that. And she was also a legislator for the Dems. And what she said was, I got lupus. I don't even know if I can have kids. And Lord knows I love children. But there's no such thing as consensual rape.
Absolutely.
No such thing as consensual rape. It's like I don't know.
Do you mind if I rape you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Like hey, can you listen? I'm gonna write this down. You're a notary, right? Can you go ahead and sign this? You gonna sign this?
That one dude from Texas, what's his name? Clayton Williams, talking about some rape is kind of like the weather. if it's inevitable, reluctant to enjoy it. That's disgusting.
What?
Like,
wait, say, oh yeah, that's from that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Thing, I was like, what? That's not even. Like,
yeah, and so what is that? What is that really saying? You know what I'm saying? When our legislators are the ones who are talking like this. I mean, of course, now
it's locker room talk. Let them tell it.
Let me drink on that one.
So it's like their mistresses and girlfriends are coming up pregnant and they're trying to keep their shit under wraps.
Right.
To where it's like, I'm going to get this abortion. I know it's your baby and I'm going to put this out in public. Oh, I'm going to find a way to stop that. I'm in Congress. Let me get this. Get these people together.
Yeah.
And get this going. Like, what?
See, yeah, that's
it's ridiculous. It's saddening. It's disheartening. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
It's a real life. It's a real life Handmaid's Tale.
Absolutely.
It's a real life Handmaid's Tale.
And that's actually what we saw outside in Mississippi. Mississippi is another state. Now outside of the federal steps of Mississippi, when they were doing that, they had some women were actually out there in full regalia, Handmaid's Tale regalia and all that, and they had the signs out front. And I'm just thinking, like, man, this is good. I mean, sure, it's good theater, but I need y'all to really get in there and get some stuff done. I mean, sure, it's good to be sitting outside and saying, look, we're dressed up and we bought these outfits. I mean, sure, that's cool, it's dope. Let's get some stuff done, because to me, I don't think this is okay.
Right.
I don't like the fact that we have, like, what are laws? And I'm really kind of getting off on a tangent, but I'm just thinking, like, what are laws if they can be changed?
Right.
What is it? How can you call something a right if it can be changed? How can something be a law if it has a caveat? If whatever you're doing is going to change, they're going to change the rules 10, 20 years from now. Was that thing really a thing? Like, when we think about, for example, people who were dealing drugs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Drug dealers
they should all get out of jail since they changing all
homie, at least weed dealers.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think all
5 ounces, you got 15? Oh, you're cool, you can leave now. Time served.
People who are serving 10, 13, 15, 20 years.
But they probably not gonna do
but sacks.
Make some money.
For sacks of weed. And not kilos, sacks.
Right.
Make some money, so they not
sat there with with an O in their pocket or something like that, and now all of a sudden you've got paraphernalia with the intent to distribute.
What's the money aspect? I'll always come back to everything's all about the green and the finances that was underlying these things. So what money was discussed to where they're like, we're hemorrhaging money on these abortions, so we got to find a way.
Well, and see, that's the thing, and that kind of goes into the whole story of basically whoever has the microphone, kind of like us, whoever has the microphone gets to tell the story.
Gotcha. And
they're the ones who have the microphone, they have the money, and they're able to tell the story. So the story they've been telling for the past 20, 30 years is that Planned Parenthood, even though only about less than 5% of their funding goes to abortions, they say that they're not, go to Planned Parenthood, all they're doing is giving abortions left and right, 10, 20, 45 times every 5 minutes. They're just cranking them out, putting them in, suddenly throwing them out. They're just sitting there, getting pulled about. I don't mean to be like that, but
I would say
they got the Hoover hooked up to the women and just super sucking them.
I would say
that's crazy.
Possibly how they can try to probably put. They can adjust what they're saying. It's like, okay, cool. If somebody's over 6 months or whatever, then we can't do that, because it's, what I'm saying, or something of that nature. Like, amend it to where it's just not okay. We gonna get rid of it, because at a certain point, let's say a woman gets raped or whatever, she might be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna stick with it. But then, like 2 months later, she's like, nah, I want to get rid of it.
So at 8 months,
I think you can. I think a late term abortion is like 5.5 months.
Yes.
At the 6 month mark, I think they would like no.
After 8 weeks.
I mean, and so and that's what I was about to say. So actually, going into some of the measures that are within a lot of these, because a lot of them are saying the exact same things. Thanks for bringing that up. So a lot of them are basically just saying that, like, they have no exceptions for rape or incest. They they have like a 5 to 15 year in prison term sentence for any doctors who perform an abortion. Any woman who decides to go across state lines to get an abortion in another state that is, I guess, abortion friendly. I guess that's what we got to do now. We got to get a green book that says, hey, you can go to this state to get an abortion. Yeah.
Right.
But so any woman who does that will get 30 years.
Really?
So women are going to jail?
30 years. Yeah, 30 years in prison for having an abortion. I guess they figured.
To prison,
I guess they figured, but think about that: 30 years. So if you're a teenager, you have an abortion. By the time you get out, you may be going through early menopause.
No, it's all coming back to prison, man.
That's really kind of effed up.
It is.
That's fucked up. I'm sorry to be like that. That's seriously fucked up.
But they allow you to buy a $50 Plan B pill, but not provide you with birth control.
Exactly. So
over the counter.
So and that's the thing. So along with them, they have maybe like 6 to 8 week window during which you can actually get something done, get an abortion done, and then you have to have the proper paperwork. You have to make sure you follow the right procedures. Everything, your X's and Y's have to be taken care of before you can get to Z. Definitely.
Gotcha.
So, but one of the things that I thought was interesting was the fact that they said that you have to, excuse me, you have to, what was it? It was something about the women who had. Who go across state lines and
get it done.
No, but it was like if you go across state lines and you decide to stay in that state, like if you do that, they got a penalty for that also built in.
Man, it's like it's a tax,
dude. Yeah.
Like not filing your taxes on time. Or
exactly. So think about this.
Like
the average term that people get for raping a woman is 5 to 10 years, and most of them serve less than that. 18 months. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can rape a woman, and I'll get in jail for whatever. Hey,
a little bit of time.
I come out, I can still get it. Provided I go through the right. Maybe I got the right complexion for the protection, or I go through the right programs, and I can thrive. I can thrive and live and have a great life and do all that stuff and
still
be fine.
Come back in society.
Yeah, I'm still good, but. If I do that same thing, or if a woman decides to get rid of that child that I've raped into her, now her whole life is done.
Right.
Basically. 30 years. You know how much technology changes in 30 years?
Right.
Oh my God. I mean, just that alone. Job force, social skills, everything. Just kind of.
Yeah. But if they want women to have these babies, like the foster system's already overrun. People are being aged out. Kids are being abused in the foster system or whatnot. And the channels that you have to go through to even adopt is the finances of it is astounding. Like it's a minimum of like $10,000 just to get the process started.
Wow.
So I know someone who had wanted to adopt because she, for an unfortunate infertility reasons, her and her husband had wanted to adopt.
Sure. And
it starts to like begin the process at $10,000. So if you want to adopt the child,
it begins at $10,000.
Yes.
To adopt it,
and that's like paperwork and stuff. Not even to potentially get a child.
And I used to always wonder like why black people didn't adopt more. I mean, because honestly, like y'all having kids left and right, why not just adopt some kids already here? But when you say that. Okay.
It's money.
And I'm not saying that black folks don't have money, but the right ones who are looking for babies don't.
Right. And you have to go through so many hoops, even if you do want to adopt, that you really have to have the finances. You can't just walk into a store and be like, let me shop around these babies real quick.
Let me get you got like a chinky-eyed, dark-skinned kid with maybe some curly hair.
Unless you like Brad Pitt.
Right.
The blue-eyed baby.
Let me get one from every continent. I'm not Josephine Baker. I can't adopt kids from every continent.
Right.
But I don't have those finances. And so to stop women from choosing to have an abortion, to put these rape and incest babies into a system that they're going to then bitch about because the system is overrun.
You leeching off the system.
Exactly.
Look at these welfare mamas. Look at these welfare babies. Welfare women having welfare queens. I'm sorry. Let's go back to Reagan speak. And they're having all these babies. Look at that. Look at how dare they leech off the system and steal my hard-earned tax money for your bastard child.
Man, It's crazy.
I mean, seriously, that's what
I can't have an abortion.
It's crazy because I think it's basically like I think mental health is within the next 5 to 10 years is gonna be that next field. Like how going to the gym is. Like everybody want to go work out and do that. So we damage people. They're damaging people mentally because like you telling somebody I'm stuck with this and they really don't want it. Of course, a lot of women go through like these depressions and stuff, even when they have babies that they choose to have. Like,
absolutely,
they go through all this. So now that mental health is huge, it's on the rise. Like we have to find ways to make that stuff make money. So like it's crazy, man. It's all a money game because to be honest with you, they don't ask us if we need chemicals in our food. They just put them in there.
Facts.
They just
make decisions.
You know what I'm saying?
They just make the decisions,
so
and we just pose a role.
Taking away one of your should be a human responsibility to know what you want in your life or how you're going to deal with whatever decision you decide to make. Like they're taking that away from a lot of women, and I think, in my honest, humble opinion, like it's going to destroy a lot of people mentally.
Okay, no, absolutely. I feel that. So here's a question. So was Tupac right?
In which state?
Yeah, what did he say? Talking about?
Since a man can't make one, he has the right to tell a woman when to wear to create one.
Facts to me.
Okay, so if that's facts, are these I'm just playing devil's advocate, but aren't these legislators just basically helping the man to say when the woman can't say the when and where for the woman?
But he can't though. Like I get what he was saying.
Sure.
And basically saying like I can put it in you, but I can't tell you what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the patriarchy in the government is what with the white government.
Say it.
Is
we on Facebook Live, baby. We can't take that back.
It's where the problem comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is that white men in politics and in government
are generally the ones that's making those decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a huge problem. And I mean and I'm not saying that like to get more color in Congress it'll really be a big thing because everybody's hand is tied to something.
Tied to a certain
Sure. Exactly. Everyone has their own identity.
Just like the president don't really run the country. The Congress does. You know what I'm saying? He's the puppet. He can do what he do. Yeah. That's why Obama said I got more control outside of the house than I do inside. Yeah. I'm a puppet. I'm a face.
He knows
These people behind me is the one that's telling me what I can actually do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's so heavy and it's so much.
Okay. So coming from the money angle, all right. So we're seeing that abortions cost a couple $100. Plan B pill costs $50. Mm-hmm. How much is it to raise a child?
Millions.
Well, I mean,
you have a child, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I have a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And I hemorrhage. I hemorrhage money.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm like, well, what's going on? This and this, and then when they start getting into sports and activities, and then that goes into dealing with kids is dealing with the whole if you're not with the father, if they're not involved financially, then that goes into the whole child support thing. I don't know if that's
yeah, I don't like getting folks. I don't like getting them people involved in my stuff. But baby mama did that.
but raising kids it's a lot of dough.
Yeah,
that's why when people have multiple children, like more than three, three's pushing it, but more than 3, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially by yourself.
Absolutely.
And again, that's where, welfare and other things come into play. If you don't have the means to support these children and you so choose to have for whatever reason, rather you couldn't get an abortion or you chose to have these children, things happen, But it's I couldn't even tell you the amount of money just from pregnancy to birth to 7. It's definitely millions of dollars.
Yeah, or at least hundreds of thousands. I mean, because you got the hospital bill, the hospital stay, you got the car ride home, you got the car seat, you got to make sure you get the room, the house ready. You have to, and this is me speaking as a father.
Food, infant meals, $30 a pop.
Facts. This is your boy speaking as a father of 3. So I mean, you got you got to childproof the home, but the first one you got to childproof the home. After the second, you're like, man, fuck that shit. Anyway,
touch it if you want to. Right. Find out what happened.
You got the oldest one sitting there. You better not touch that. I'm saying. See, now you got an enforcer. You're like, yes, thank you. But I'm just saying. So like, there's like you said.
And it never stops.
So you're hemorrhaging money, and I'm not saying it. And again, I'm not saying it's like to board or say like don't have no kids so you can save your money. I don't mean like that, but I mean it's called Planned Parenthood for a reason. Right. Right. Seriously, because there should be some planning I think that goes into it. To be perfectly honest, and it's funny that this conversation is coming up, so I'll be a little bit forthcoming. So when I was younger, when I was in college, my girlfriend at the time and I had broken up. We were completely broken up, right? And then she left school and then she came back for, just to come visit the school. And, like she had dropped out completely. And then she just came back over break just to come and see what's happening and all this stuff. Came through. I was there. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? What's up? For old time's sake, let's get it in.
Right.
Get it in. She's pregnant. I'm like, hey, because I knew I already wasn't with her, because I knew I didn't like her as a person. Yeah. Honestly, because I was thinking, if I don't like you, and I already know that if we're gonna have a child, I don't want to have to deal with
the rest of my life.
All of all of that to go through to get there. I didn't. So I was like, I begged, and I was like, I don't want this. I don't want to do this. Please don't do this. Yeah. Don't do this right now because we're not even together.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
And now she ended up having the child, and that was my son, and I would never take that boy away.
Right.
So it's always funny because like anytime something pops up, when she needs to feel some sort of validation, I'll say that because I don't want to speak for her. But it feels like she's looking for some sort of validation. She always comes at me and says, well, you didn't even want him. You didn't even want him because blah, blah, blah. As soon as I start doing good for him and taking care of him and saying, man, what does he need? I'll take whatever. Let's do it. Jumping out there, jumping through windows, jumping through hoops for him, whatever. As soon as I start doing too much, or she feels like I'm gaining too much attention in his life, she starts chipping away at me and saying, well, you didn't even want him because blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, that's not true. It was never about him. I didn't want to deal with you. You dig? And so, so that's the situation.
Right.
That's a real thing that pops up. I won't get into, her stuff before that, but I just know at that point I was like, listen.
Most men I know are like, whatever happens, I'm gonna take care of mine.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like if it's on the table, like no, it ain't happening. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do what I do.
Absolutely.
So and there's some stand up men out here.
Yeah.
So they were like, I don't want you. I don't want this. I don't want to deal with you, but I'm gonna take care of mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in abortion.
Okay.
And that's a conversation that you have to have when you're involved with someone else and you're pregnant because you didn't make the baby by yourself. So I feel as though that the conversation should be had.
It should.
Which is right.
In that manner.
It's always a two-way street.
You know what I'm saying? In that manner. Because if I'm going to tell you, like, hey, Se7eN, I'm pregnant, so then that means it's open. I'm opening that door for some input.
It's not like it. Now, if you just leave the room and be like, okay, I'm pregnant, and then I don't see or hear from you for 10 years.
That's on you. That's a whole nother story. But if I'm telling you I'm pregnant, this is what's on the table. I'm giving you the opportunity to have some input, and we're gonna have a discussion about it. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come to an agreement. If I say, "Yo, we didn't mean to get pregnant, but I'm pregnant and I'm keeping it, so we gotta come up with a plan."
Exactly. Yeah.
Then I feel as though that's how it should be. Not everybody's like that.
Sure. It's always a negotiation.
Right. It's always a negotiation.
Let's talk about this thing. Can we get, you know what I'm saying? What we doing right now?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
However that goes. But I feel like that's it. Like it took two to make it, takes two to break it. Right. However that goes.
I'll be forthcoming. I've had an abortion.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask you for
when I was 21. And so, I would have had a 16-year-old.
You ain't that old, is you?
I'm
moisturized. You better look at that bright black crack.
I'm moisturized, son. You gotta keep up on your moisturization.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a serious topic right now.
Shea butter. Exfoliation.
Brought to you by.
Hey, And she's a masseuse, so I'm pretty sure she knows the right product.
Get it deep in. Got to get the elbow. Got that part.
But no, I had an abortion, and I told him, and you know.
Oh, so he didn't even know.
Well, I told him before. I told him I was pregnant.
Okay.
I was like, yo,
gotcha.
he done a stick, something I missed a couple. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, let me go see what this is about.
Before you get into it, so how far along were you approximately at the time?
So I got the abortion. I was about 8 weeks.
So I
got it early.
You were just at 8 weeks, which is
because when I got mine done, they give you a pamphlet. That time they had given you a pamphlet of all the information. And because I research everything, I'm like, I need to know what the cutoff time. One, I got to pay for this, so I need to know how much it's going to cost. Because the longer it goes, the more it's going to cost.
Right, the more expensive.
So I'm like, well, let me see how far I am now, and then let me get my ducats together.
Yeah, no.
Because if I choose, I want to weigh my options.
Sure.
And for me personally, when I got it, I was devastated afterwards. I legit bawled and cried, and I actually didn't get over that abortion until I had my daughter. And it wasn't until she had turned 1 that I really was just like, okay, I gotta let this go. I gotta forgive myself and forgive the situation and find my own mental peace with it. But the whole time I was pregnant, I was like, something's gonna happen because I had this abortion. But that's my own personal thing, my own mental thing.
What made you mad at yourself for doing it?
Because I'm a planner, and I always had a plan. So I was like, 21, I want to have my first kid because I don't want to be this old parent, So I had this whole plan in my head, and when it happened, it was unexpected. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I had planned it, but I didn't expect it to happen. Sure. So when it happened, I was like, oh shit, like I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I had told him about it. And I said we were young, and he was like, "It ain't mine." And I was like, "Oh, so it ain't yours?" But we living together though, like you my boyfriend though.
Menace to society.
You know what I'm saying? And we were young, and both of us had cheated, and it was the times just so he was just like, it ain't mine, and I'm like, nigga, we living together though, like. The fuck?
It's a possibility.
Right.
Right. And so when he pulled,
the woman knows.
When he pulled that on me, and I'm very much an A-type personality, so I mark my calendar for my days, and I know what's what, and if I did any dirt, you know what I'm saying? Because I never wanted to put myself in that position
that's some women
to be like,
exactly.
Her calendar,
homie,
did some dirt.
Did you see that?
Now, mind you, we lived together, and he was like, "What's all these marks in the calendar? Don't worry about it.
What is this X?
Don't worry about it.
Time to get my perm.
Why is this day so?
Right. So that was my own personal thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, nigga, I know you my baby daddy. You
for sure.
Baby daddy. And because and I broke it down to him. I was like, listen, this particular time, it was just you. We had did our dirt with, aside from each other around this time and that time. So these are my facts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm coming to you. If I didn't believe that it was you, I would have had it and nobody would have known no better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wouldn't have even come to you because I ain't that type of bride to be like, I don't know who it is. You the daddy, Maury. I ain't that type. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that type.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So with that being said, so I came to him and he was just like, well, it ain't mine. Oh, okay. So it was hard for me because I did it out of spite. Okay. Because I was like, oh, so you don't want it? You don't want it, so I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to be a single parent.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So because I did it out of spite, because he didn't want it, not because I didn't want it.
Yeah, that could really.
So I did it because of him.
Wow.
So it ate at me forever.
I can see that.
And I didn't have my daughter until I was 30. So from 21 to 30, it ate at me forever. It ate at me forever until she turned 1, and then I was just like, okay,
a solid 10.
I gotta let this go.
Yeah,
I gotta let this go. Wow. And so it's reasons that it's there. It's reasons that's there. And at the time, I had confided in a friend, and she was like, "These are the routes that you have," because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. I'm still like, I'm pregnant. I'm 21. I'm still kicking. I was just in the club last week. You know what I'm saying?
Like, back next week.
Right. I had a roommate. I wasn't by myself. You know what I'm saying? So,
all the shots. All the shots. All of them.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got this whole. I'm kicking it and doing my thing, and now I was like, wait a minute.
It's like a whole trap that you walked into.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, like, being young-minded, you didn't see beyond the curve.
Exactly.
Like, you could have had a kid.
Like, this is happening right now. I need to get this right now.
I
This is in the face.
Right.
So
I'm working nights. I don't get off till midnight. So I'm like, I got to change all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole life that I didn't think about beyond the fact that it was 2 lines on this stick.
I get that.
And this nigga just told me, well, it ain't mine. So it's just like, oh, shit, if you don't want it, nigga, I don't want it.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So that ate at me.
That's crazy.
That ate at me forever and a day. And so for this I take the whole abortion thing personally. Mm-hmm. And because it's just like to have that choice taken away from you.
Yeah. And
it's like,
go ahead. Sorry.
It's hurtful and it's mind-boggling.
And to me, it seems like, I mean, you kind of touched on it earlier. So I mean, in Alabama, for example, we got 25 men, 25 white men who voted to put this thing into law. 25-6 was the vote. Mm-hmm. Wow. 25-6, and then so that was in their Congress. And then they set it up. They sent it up the channel to the governor, who basically is the president of the state. So they sent it up to the governor, who's a female. Mm-hmm. And she took her 12 hours. Signed and done. Wow. Signed and done. So I mean,
she must be a pro-lifer.
Well, possibly. Which to me is kind of a misnomer. So it's like, people say, pro-life. But actually, in actuality, going back to your example, whatever, as soon as you get out, we don't give 2 fucks about you. So, it's more like I'm pro-birth.
Right.
It's pro-birth. You're not pro-life. Because you still put them in the electric chair. And it's funny that most of the people who are pro-life are also huge supporters of capital punishment and torture. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? You know
me personally, I do believe that, and as a lot of stuff is being said, like as soon as there's a heartbeat,
sure, it's
a child, it's a living, breathing thing,
which is insane because science and so people like to quote science indirectly just to make whatever points, but these are the facts. Even though a heartbeat is detectable at up to 6 weeks, it's not an actual heart.
It's still cells.
It's still just a zygote a fertilized zygote just sitting there, pulsating. Right. I mean, that's all it is at the time.
Right.
You don't have consciousness. You don't have brain functionality until 27 weeks in. Right. So at 6 to 8, which is what most of these measures are putting into place, it's basically just saying, hey, they're saying that this is at this time or up to this point is when you're a human. And matter of fact, just to kind of throw some bullshit on top of it, they're also saying that they have population rights, they have state rights, and they can be and fathers can start going after fathers for child support while in the womb, homie. In the womb.
It's all the money.
In the womb. See what I'm saying?
It's all the money.
I think all that money stuff and all that is more distraction to kind of get us, like, again, focusing on the little thing in front because it's a huge shit behind it that we don't even know about.
So many aspects and avenues and lines.
Which kind of so that kind of leads me to this whole thing. I'm just wondering, like, why did this start? Why did this happen? Was this an Obama backlash? Because like let's look at the timeline, right? So we had
what's the president's take on it?
Well, he thinks this should be up to the states.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
But you can't go across that line.
That's a good thing. That's a good when you don't give no fuck and you're the president and you or you don't want to chime in. You say, I think it should be left up to the states. Let them deal with that, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Why you asking me? I don't care. All my kids
but if somebody gets caught going across state lines, they get in jail.
Right.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Bro, this whole America is just a trap, man.
Yeah.
So
it is. So they taken away. They're trying to take or defund the Planned Parenthood. Now, I didn't get mine done at Planned Parenthood. I got mine done from a physician.
Sure. Okay.
So, so it's just like
they don't. Well, I'm sorry, they don't have physicians at Planned Parenthood.
They do.
I'm asking because I've never been to one.
They do, but I'm saying I didn't. Basically, I was just saying that I didn't get mine done at Planned
So you
Parenthood.
went private doctor.
Yeah, I went to a private doctor.
So
I say a physician. I went to a private doctor.
Just for argument's sake, let's say you do have people who's experienced in doing abortions. What's gonna stop them from doing it under the table?
Exactly.
Bill it as something else.
And that's the thing. That's what they were, and that's what they were doing before Roe v. Wade went into effect. When Roe v. Wade first went into effect, you don't need to see what I'm doing.
That's why I slid it here.
when Roe v. Wade first went into effect, or before it went into effect, that's what you had people who were firebombing birthing clinics. I'm sorry, abortion clinics. You had people who were doing their own. I got problems. Man. I got problems. I need to get over, man. Hold on.
Hey, you just told me it was summertime. You know what I'm saying?
Summer. Hold on. But I'm just saying. So and then alternatively, you had people who were saying, "Well, I'll take care of you in this back alley. You know, just come up the stairs and ask for Rochelle. She'll take care of you." And Rochelle was sitting there. And think about it. That's basically the same thing. Just the same thing we're saying with women in back alley butt injections.
Yeah.
That was a freaking.
They can't afford it. They just
they find a freaking way anyway, and that's hugely insane to me. You know,
just like physicians are pushing these pills. You bet there was like 60 physicians got arrested in the opioid opioid bust, and they was cutting off people's toes, or saying they was cutting off toes just to give them opioids and stuff, and it was billed so that they could prescribe these people these things.
I did not know that.
And they could get paid for it.
They do a lot of stuff. Like, it's a lot of things that people don't research when you go to the doctor.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's like you have the choice to say no. Like, okay, give me some information about whatever you're telling me.
Yeah, so then I can go home and make an informed decision.
Right.
But see, a lot
and I think that's how it should be with abortion. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, show me the pros, show me the cons.
So, and they do. And when you do get an abortion, they give you options like, these are your abortion options. However, here's a pamphlet on adoption.
Right.
So it's not like they be like, "Are you here? Come on in the back room. Let's go ahead and set you up for 9 o'clock on Tuesday. No. We got time today. As a matter of fact, we had a cancellation." It's not like that. They give you informed information.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in the state of Missouri, there's a 72-hour wait. So even if you go in today and say, "I want to have an abortion," you can't have it. The earliest you can have it is Monday, because today's Friday. The earliest you can have it is Monday. You know what I'm saying? So because they make you think about it. They make you wait and say, "Hey, you may be making a hasty decision." So now they've even set up, like especially in the South, in parts of Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, they have set up these facilities that are set up to seem like Planned Parenthood facilities, but what they actually are government-funded, religious-based facilities where they come in and talk to you about why you shouldn't have an abortion.
Right. I actually experienced that.
Wow. Tell me about that. Oh my God.
When I did find out I was pregnant, I was like, this can't be real. This thing don't mean nothing. So I went to, the free pregnancy testing, which I thought was like a Planned Parenthood.
Exactly, and that's how they get you in there.
So I went in there and I was like,
y'all watch out for that free stuff.
Right, I was like, I need the pregnancy
test. Get what you pay for.
I think I might be pregnant. I missed a couple. So they bring me in. I, pee in the cup. They do the whole thing. They sit me down. I'm waiting on it for the results to come in. They're like, well, you are, but while that's waiting, let's talk about this and this. And of course, here slides out the Jesus pamphlet, slides out the adoption pamphlet,
and then we're gonna show you what dead babies look like when they
tell them. Is that the basis of why they're trying to tell people that they can't have abortions because of the Jesus stuff?
No, I honestly I don't think so.
I mean, I hope not, but honestly, I think religion, like I said, is just used to control people's mind and your decisions or whatever. But
sure,
nobody we don't even know if God agree with what's in the Bible.
Well, I'll put it like this, and and it's funny. So it's funny you say that. Good transition, matter of fact. So you remind me of I got into a kind of a shouting match, whatever, online shouting.
You always get in the shouting.
Always.
That is, if y'all know your boy is Southern, you know that's I get it in, and I always got time.
Grammatically correct, mind you.
Man, don't play with it. Don't play with it.
I'm sorry. Grammatically.
Yeah,
correct.
Don't say grammatically. We might have.
I had to put the Negro in it because I knew it was gonna bother you. That's why I had to correct it.
But but you're right. So there was this guy who was basically just saying that, you know, any woman who has an abortion is evil. They're and they need to be put in jail and all this craziness. And I'm like, whoa! And then he started quoting all these Bible scriptures.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started quoting all these Bible scriptures as backup, and I'm like, see, it's fake ass Christians like you. This is fucking one of the reasons why I'm not a Christian. See, I can't. Why you gonna sit and play with that shit like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So first of all, the Bible has like full of contradictions. Hey, you can't do this, but you can't. But you can't.
Right.
Nah, but you can though. But you shouldn't. But I did it.
Honestly, anything you read or anything you watch or absorb, it's up to your interpretation. So whatever you feel like you got from the Bible, hey man, it's always a gray area somewhere that you can make it do what it do for you, man.
This brother was sitting there just going back and forth and just talking about how so basically he was just saying women are evil. Any woman who has an abortion is evil. Keep your legs closed. That's the problem. What do you say? If you letting a man hit it raw, you want to have a baby. Is what he said. He said that. Like everything is the woman's fault.
Terrible.
And I just, you know what I'm saying, I'm more of an adult than that to sit there and sit and think that just because you know what I'm saying, just because.
And so, what floors me about that is that just
somebody let me go raw.
Just speaking of my own experiences, again, you know, like I said, we was living together. That was my man. We was doing grown folk things.
Quick question: Is he the father of your
daughter?
Current daughter?
No.
Current. You have your daughter? Sorry.
My current daughter.
I mean, yeah, that sounded real stupid. I'm sorry.
You're fine. No, he's not.
All right.
No, he's not.
I mean, do you look at him different?
No, I don't look at him different. I mean, and the thing that he and I actually had a talk about it. Okay. Because I would actually call him sometimes because we were still friends afterwards. Because he took me to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, because you have to you can't drive afterwards. So it's like, look, you don't want this, so you at least gonna take me to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and we had a conversation about it. Yeah. And, you know, that's what he agreed to. Mm-hmm. And, you know, years later, because again, like I said, I was going through my own thing with, and I would call him up. I'm like, yo, you know, we would have an 8-year-old by now. And he was like, why are you still talking about this? And I was like, you know what? I got a problem. I gotta figure this out. It was my own mental thing. I got you. Yeah. And so, but years later, he had told me, when we were just catching up and talking about things, whatever, he was like, you know, I actually got you pregnant on purpose. Wow. I said, excuse me? Wow. He said, I was trying to get you pregnant on purpose. And so I'm like, and so that really like, so then it turned into, so you got me pregnant on purpose, told me it wasn't yours, went with me to get this abortion, and now years later, gonna tell me,
he probably was trying
you know
to
what I'm saying? And so, you know, it was what it was. So for it to be like a whole government sort of, you can't do this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And you're the reason why you close your legs. So
keep
you
the aspirin between your knees. That's how you keep the man out. Keep the aspirin between your knees.
So it's just it's complete. What? It's complete bullshit when that's brought into it. Keep your legs closed. It's like I was in love. This was my man. This is that's the thing. It's like
so societally, it's like we give no. In general, I won't say, because I know individuals who are like, no, men are just as at fault, sometimes even more so. Mm-hmm. But I think that societally we just let men off the hook, and I don't understand how that is possible. How can we live in a supposedly free country, quote unquote, free country, and we got And we have things like this that take place. We have so much oppression that takes place. We have women who can't. We have men who are legislating over women's productive rights, over women's bodies. I haven't seen any legislation that's set forth to do any sort of control over what a man can and can't do with his body, except in the case of the state of Texas. Where and this is a great transition because it's getting a little heavy. So, the state of Texas, where one of the senators there, I can't remember her name, but she basically has put forth legislation that would penalize men $100 for each and every time they masturbate.
Wow.
I mean, Think about that.
I know they gotta pay that. Like,
I mean, and well, so here's the thing. So I have a question. So if the baby it's alive, right? The baby's alive, and they want to penalize a woman for killing. That's murder, they say, right? Every time a man jacks off, that's 1 million deaths.
You're wasting potential children.
1 million deaths. And even if you like are getting head and she swallows, that's still 1 million deaths.
Still a killer.
Now both of y'all are killers.
Mm-hmm.
So does she go to? So does she go to? So I'm just saying. So it's like I just wonder with stuff like this. Like how far does it go? Does she also get penalized? If you got bad bacteria in your body, bacteria is a living organism. It's in your body. If you kill that, are you going to jail for that? If you got a fucking tapeworm inside your ass or some dumb shit, ringworm, you got ringworm. It's a living, thing inside your freaking body. It's a life. You said what?
Would you pay $100 to masturbate?
Man,
$100 if I do.
It's
not a necessity for me.
Listen,
to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
As much debt as I'm in right now.
About bankruptcy, just go and get them off and file bankruptcy.
You know what? I might have to file I might have to just file bankruptcy off my jack off debt.
Oh man!
I'm like, man, listen, I only owe $100,000 in student loans, but my jack off debts, $3.12 million, and that's just this year. Fuck you mean? Fuck you mean? Do you know how quick that would, man? And then wait, hold on. So what if you pull out?
That's still murder.
That's what I'm saying. So if you pull out, is that murder? Like I'm saying, would that be considered masturbation?
The whole purpose of sex is to copulate, to make kids, procreate, to make kids. So I guess like I mean everybody is pretty much guilty of wasting their energy
at some point
in life.
Because what it is a physiological action. It's a physiological release. You know what I'm saying? That's like so. I mean, I get it. You know, individually, people want. I just think individually, people just want to have sex. People want to do it. Of course, they don't always think about the ramifications that could come with it. I could have a child, STDs, and I mean, they think STDs more than they think children nowadays.
You do realize that like you can be not able to read, not be able to count, but you know how to have sex.
Well, yeah, because you were born with a dick. You weren't born with numbers in you.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So you can be not able to do all those.
It's easy to putting a stick in a hole is a lot easier than trying to figure out your tax returns.
Man,
I'm just saying because I ain't gonna lie. I would rather do it on any day than file my taxes or balance my checkbook or pay a bill. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So yeah. So I mean that's just the way it is. But yeah. So so it's just crazy. I don't want to sit on this all day. Remember once again, everybody, this is the KCMO Rail. This Kansas City's #1 podcast and growing fast. Holla at your boy. We getting it in. Talking about. So here's something that's interesting. I saw a couple of posts on this, and I don't know if it's true or not because I didn't Google it, I didn't check, and we only got 12 months in a year. Okay. We only have 12.
Gotcha.
And it's like every month is a month for something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has claimed a month somehow. I don't know how this is taking place.
St. Valentine's month.
Well, no, I don't mean
birthday month.
I don't mean. I just mean in terms of like this is National Latino Month or something like that, or this is
everybody wants to be
respect for
acknowledged.
This is Teachers Month or something like that. So something like things like that happen. Something that I kept seeing over the past, you were going crazy, girl. Look at you. Some things that I've seen.
McDonald numbers,
man, bro. Nah, but she got. But one of the things that I've seen is just kind of crazy. Is like masturbation month. It's just weird that all this is taking place during what I guess some people have said that May is
just like
National Masturbation.
Is this like a
month.
new philosophy, or is it just? Like,
well,
it's been there.
It's all new, man.
It's all, okay.
I mean, America's only 200 years old plus,
okay.
you know what I'm saying, 220-something years old. So, you know, we come up with new holidays every other day.
Frowned upon, so why is it?
That's what I'm saying. So,
mostly, like,
now that
it's
being
frowned upon for men. For men, it's frowned upon. Like from my perspective.
I've never frowned on a woman.
Nah, like most men will take that readily. Like, okay, yeah, a woman doing it, it's way more attractive than a man doing it.
For the record, I have never frowned on a woman masturbating. I just like to let that be known. Let that be known. Anyway, no, but it's just kind of crazy that all this is taking place within this month. You know what I'm saying? So we got the abortion things that are happening. Mm-hmm. Everybody's setting up their troops and getting ready, getting the lines together and all that. We about to take over and hopefully, because basically, so what it all kind of boils down to, or what it kind of looks like, is that they're trying to overturn Roe v. Wade. Like ultimately, that's the goal. Ultimately, the goal is so. I think the goal is twofold, and we can get off this. So I think it's like they want to get out, overturn Roe v. Wade. There's also, which we didn't really even get on, but we can just kind of, and actually Randy kind of touched on it, just talked about a little bit of the infertility rates of white people. I mean, like you said, white people are the main people, Caucasian people are the main ones who are getting abortions, and at the same time they're doing that, their infertility rates are they are rising like crazy. At the same time, you got blacks and Latinos and Asians even, well, not so much Asians, but blacks and Latinos, especially in America, who, even in the worst conditions, socioeconomically, they are making babies like it ain't fertile city, homie. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just, it seems to me, and this is just my opinion, I'm not giving it to anybody or putting it on anybody, I'm not projecting, but I feel like for me, that the ultimate goal for them is just to say, hey, we need to make sure that we stay in control. We need to control y'all so we can maintain the control of the land.
America's built on control, man.
And that's crazy. So just real quick, and we can change subjects because I want to get on something a little bit lighter. But it's interesting. This kind of reminds me of when I was in St. Martin a couple of weeks ago, right? So I was on vacation in St. Martin. And
shout out to St. Martin.
St. Martin. Beautiful. And I was on the Dutch side, not the French side. Okay. But, it's all good. I did get to speak Portuguese. I did get to see a little bit. I did learn a little bit of Portuguese. I did. Okay. Yeah, appreciate that. But it was interesting. So I was out there, and there was this. So I was in the bar on the resort. We stayed in the resort. And there was this white guy who was there, we got to talking. I'm like, I'm from Chicago. He's like, yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm like, oh, right on, cool, let's talk. Mm-hmm. So we got to talking, found out we knew some of the same people, played some of the same teams and all that stuff in high school, football and all this craziness. And then I said, hey, I'm about to go hit these streets and go see, what's going on in the streets, whatever. Because, I've kind of been out already. It was his first day there. Now, I get it. It was his first day. It's his first day in town. So I'd been there by that time. I think I'd been there maybe like 3-4 times. 3-4 days, I should say. So I met up with a female friend that I knew. Met up with her. So it was the three of us: me, the female friend, and the white guy. Uh-huh. And we're walking down the street. We come across this place, which is basically like a it was a dope spot. I don't know why they don't have that in the U.S., but it basically was a place where you could play video games all night, drink all night, smoke all night, and they had stripper poles and private rooms in the back. It was
all inclusive,
man. And you just walk in and pay for what you wanted to do. The games were like $5 for 30 minutes.
Wow,
bruh. White dude came in and said, "I'll pay for that." I'm like, right on. We were sitting there playing Mario Kart. I haven't played a video game in 30 years, 20 years. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'll play you if that's what you want to do. I was in there just trying to get to know the people because that's usually what I do when I go to places. I like to know the people. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there talking to the folks who are there, and they say, "Yeah, this is a dope. This is what we do. We usually close at 3. It's just just something we got. It's pretty nice here."
Was it in the hood?
No. I mean, it was it's right off the beach. Okay. Right off the beach. So, so now we're sitting outside. So they said they close at 3. So we're sitting outside with the people who own the spot. Mm-hmm. As well as me, the girl, and the white dude. Mm-hmm. So it's about 12 of them, me, white dude, and the girl. Mm-hmm. We all just sitting talking in our different little circles and things and all that. White dude is just talking to one guy. girl is talking to two dudes. I'm talking to everybody else. And I'm like, talking about Chicago, giving them slang and stuff. They telling me slang. We just exchanged stuff. Like, oh, yeah, I'm also Jamaican. They was like, oh, okay. So they're like, hey, big Jamaica, they call me. So I'm like, all right, cool. So dude, because I guess in Jamaica, I'm like huge, like size-wise. I'd be a big person because Jamaicans are kind of, Anyway, but, shut up. So,
she said, what? She had the Miss Cleo stuff going on earlier.
Boy, y'all should have caught them. But it was interesting. So while
we're bring it back.
So while we're outside and talking to, just having a good conversation with the people, because they were sitting around. Some were meandering, waiting for a ride. The others were just sitting there. They had the cars right there. They were getting ready to go. So while we were doing that, white dude just like I said, I'm sitting there holding court with maybe 9 guys, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, do you think we can leave right now? I'm really feeling outnumbered."
What? On vacation?
That's what he said. He said, "I'm really feeling outnumbered."
On vacation? You going to somebody else's territory? You feel outnumbered?
Either way, you see what that says. So I'm not
one black guy. I'm feeling outnumbered.
Well, he told me as because I was the one who invited him out to come out and all that stuff. But it's just I think it was just from the to me that was very telling of, and I'm not gonna say he's a representative for all white people, but in this term of what we're talking about in terms of control, in terms of what's going on with abortion and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's losing the grip.
He was losing his grip on being the dominant person, and said, "I don't like what this feels like. Can we change this?" That to me that was very telling, and that's just kind of telling about or to extrapolate that even further and just say, okay, well, look at the band and look at what's going on, look at the control they're trying to put in place. It kind of seems like it's almost in line with what he was doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a small microcosm of the real shit. But again, peace and blessings, people. Let y'all know.
I'm not gonna lie.
This is the KC Info Reel.
Yeah.
Holla at your boy. This is Randy Hef. Keisha with the hands.
Yeah,
she's
a professional. What's it?
Massage therapist.
Massage therapist. You gotta say
masseuse is
funny ass.
Right.
Funny ass story, man. Like
okay,
I had a. She paid for me to go get a massage, man. So I went in there,
yeah,
open minded.
Did it move?
Hoping I would see
the sun,
a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
bro.
I've never had a man massage.
Bro, it was a man, bro. And she gonna tell me something. You gotta be open-minded. You gotta be like, the whole time, I'm like, man, if I can get back to the car, get strapped, put it right beside me.
It's so hard for men in the industry, in the massage industry.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because
it's a vulnerable position that you're in.
It's a very vulnerable position.
Bro, you in your bra, your boxers, man. Like, you in your whole boxers.
No homo.
Man, like that shit. Man.
It's so hard for men. Women are underestimated, and men it's very hard for men.